All right, everybody. I hope you're having a great night because we are going to have an epic one here tonight. My name is Josh, Extra Barbecue, and I am joined by OTN, the voice of the DF esports in the DMV, the courtside king, and Mr. John Fiasco. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing this evening?
Doing well, Josh. Thanks
Doing
for having
great.
us.
I'm excited to have you guys. So for those who are a little unfamiliar, because this is our first event of the evening, John, Joey, can you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you guys do at OTN?
Yeah, sure thing. Go ahead, John. Kick us off. What do we do here at
Oh, you,
OTN?
you toss it over to me first. You want? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So OTN, we're local. We're here in the DMV like everyone else that you're going to be seeing here tonight for tonight's Rocket League action. Proud to be a part of the DMV community as well. We cover gaming, esports news. We do live streams. We have podcasts. We bring a lot of media content to everyone here in the DMV and really all over the world. We pretty much cover everything. We have Level Up podcast, Level Up Live. It airs Monday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch, OTN Media on Twitch. If you want to check it out, shameless plug. That's what we do. We do casting events, like for Game Jam, for Events DC. We've done DC United events. We've done Washington Capital events. We've pretty much been all over the place.
Well, I know that if I'm got an event, you guys are the first people I call. So it's great to have you here. And then Joey, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about just OTN? Anything else that John left out?
Yeah, I mean, John covered a lot of it. We kind of cover the latest news in gaming and esports. We've worked with a lot of orgs here locally, like John said, a number of them. The Washington Wizards with WizDG, the champions, by the way, of the NBA 2K League. So a number of different people we've been able to work with in all different walks of life, really getting to bring the tournament scene here in the DMV and continue to escalate it, just like the folks here at Game Jam are doing.
Love that. Well, I'm very excited about it. I'm excited for tonight. This is week one of the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference Rocket League regular season. We have a really great schedule over the next 8 weeks that we're going to be running that are going to build to our championship at the Spring Summit. But I'm really excited. I'm excited to talk and share about what we have going on here with the MAEC.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump in some questions for you. Josh, is it going to be like one of our interview segments on our podcast, Level Up Live? You've been on that before, so I hope you're ready for some grilling.
Oh, I love it. Turn up the heat, brother.
All right. So first off, what is the Mid Atlantic Esports Conference? Tell us a little bit about that creation of this idea and how it came to fruition.
The Mid Atlantic Esports Conference, it's a really cool thing, and it was born out of Events DC and Game Jam coming together and saying, how can we serve the colleges and universities in our area? And we ended up having a couple exploratory calls with a number of universities, and they were able to talk about the things they liked, they didn't like in their respective conferences that they exist in currently. And based on those conversations with the schools, we saw a need to be filled to in our region to create local rivalries, to create opportunities, and to help these schools get their esports programs established. So, based on just kind of talking with the schools in our area, the MAEC was born to, serve them and help them, um, you know, be the best esports programs that they could possibly be.
Awesome. So every organization has an end game. They have some kind of goal they want to strive. What's the mission and some of the objectives that we're going to be seeing here out of the Mid Atlantic Esports Conference?
So the goal that we're trying to do is we're trying to do a couple things. We got a couple goals. Our goal is to provide high level competition for the local colleges and universities. We want to create rivalries. We want to create epic moments, just like the ACC and other amazing conference sports, traditional sports conferences out there. We also want to create a pathway and create resources for the transition from high school to college. So we're going to help create college fairs to help showcase these awesome universities so that students know that there's really great esports and also really great academic programs in everything from esports to game design that's available right here in the DMV. And then the last thing is to create a pathway for those in college to find great internships and careers, both in the DMV and abroad. So our goal is to help the member schools and the players, and also those people on the periphery who are helping these things come together, like the production teams, TOs, and everybody else needed to put on an incredible event.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. It sounds incredible. And I really like that something like this is coming together here in the DMV. And we have some of the best leading organizations behind it, Events DC and Game Gym. What can you tell us about those two?
Well, I can't say enough nice things about Events DC. They have been wonderful partners in building the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference. So, for those who don't know, Events DC is the premier host of conventions, sports, entertainment, and culture events in the nation's capital, and they're tasked with bringing amazing events to our area. So, their goal is to bring the World Cup, big gaming events, League of Legends World Championships, and any other really cool thing that's going to draw people to this place and hopefully stay in hotels, go to restaurants, use Uber, come to Game Gym and listen to OTN. And that's what they're working on.
So, what about Game Gym as well, Josh? I think you probably can give us a little bit of an idea about what Game Gym's doing.
I can. So Game Gym is a 3-year-old company that was born out of a need to serve the community in a variety of different ways. So we have three different, main demographics that we try to serve: the kids in our community who love esports but don't really have too many resources; the parents who are just pulling their hair out with this stuff and really struggling to try to like help their kids navigate this world that they don't understand; and then young industry professionals who are hoping to get a great job at Epic Games or Bethesda Softworks. We want to create some of the bottom rungs to the ladder so that those kids can come out of high school or college and have some really awesome stuff on their resumes.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't speak for John on this as well, but I feel like a number of our listeners really click with that idea behind it. When you look at young professionals, how can we get into esports? How can we become streamers? How can we become pro players? Then, when you look at some other people, how can I just improve my game? How can I not die as easily in League of Legends? Or how can I get better as a teammate in Overwatch? And I feel like Game Gym as well as Events DC are really helping answer that question.
I'm still trying to figure out how to not die in League of Legends.
We all are.
um, but it's something that I'm really proud of. And the other thing that I want to give a plug to is our incredible production team and all the people on the back end who don't aren't get the time on screen, or who don't necessarily. They're all the heroes who actually make this stuff work. And I just want to say that our production team is the absolute best in the biz.
Absolutely. So we've talked about Game Gym, we've talked about Events DC. What can you tell us about the other members of the MAEC here?
So this is one of the coolest parts about esports right now, and I love the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference because we have a ton of different schools from all over the place. So we have schools from DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and I'm just going to list them off real quick. We have Catholic University, we have George Washington University, we have Hood College, Howard Community College, Marymount University, Mount St. Mary's University. Then moving over to the other side, we got George Mason University, we got Northern Virginia Community College, we got Old Dominion University, we got Randolph College, we got Randolph Macon College, and then VCU down there in Richmond. So we've got this wonderful group of community colleges, private universities, public universities, all coming together for the common good, which is, the collective is bigger than the individual. And our hope is, through everybody coming together, we could create an awesome platform for our schools and all the students in those schools.
Yeah, absolutely. And what an honor to be one of those schools as well, to be a founding member of this conference. Like, we've seen a lot of collegiate conferences expand over time or maybe shrink over time. This one in particular, you can never be a founding member once again. So it's really cool to see these schools step up.
Yeah, I think we're really proud of the people who leaned into this, and our goal is to just serve them in the best way possible.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you guys will go ahead and follow through on that. With that in mind, Josh, if someone is interested in learning more about the MAEC, where can they head to find more information?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a website that you could check out. It's maec.gg. If you're watching on Twitch, you could also just scroll down. It's over there in the overlay. Also, we have overlays for Events DC and Game Gym. So if you want to check out those too, you could check them out. You could also check it out in chat. You hit MAEC exclamation point, and it will send you over to the website. We also have a Twitter page, which is Mid-Atlantic EC, and obviously our Twitch, which you're hopefully watching us on, but that's Mid-Atlantic Esports.
All right. So all of this is going to be culminating in a massive event. Game Jam is very used to throwing these major events. In fact, you invented the triple crown of esports right here in the DMV, and this finals here is going to be a part of that, part of one of those major events in the Spring Summit. Can you tell us a little bit about the Spring Summit?
Yeah, so the Spring Summit is our championship event, and each season we've created a championship. So in the summer, we had the Summer Bash. In the winter, we had the Winter Games. And now in the spring, we have the Spring Summit. And our goal is to create the biggest platform, the most buzz, the biggest event possible to draw awareness to the competitors and all the cool things that we're doing. So during the day, we've got panelists, we've got local game developers, we've got people who work and play in esports at the national or international level. We've got people who come and talk to us about health, mental health, inclusion, music, all kinds of different topics. Um, and then in the evenings, we have the best esports competitions in the DMV, championships of the District Esports League, and now the championships of the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference. The last thing that I think is really cool about the Spring Summit and all of our charity events is that we come together to raise money for the Extra Life Foundation, which benefits Children's National Hospital here in DC. And I'm proud to say that so far for our first two events, we raised $17,000 for Extra Life. And hopefully in the next event, we're going to be, I'd love to break 25K. I think that would be really cool if we could do that. The other thing that's kind of cool, a new piece of news that we're going to be adding into this is that before the money that we raised for through the Spring Summit and our Triple Crown events went to the Extra Life Fund as a whole. What we're doing now is we're working with Extra Life to fund specific research that involves video games. So the money that we raise is actually going to go directly to people who are using video games to help people do rehab and create other interesting things that are going to help kids and other people suffering use video games to get better, which I think is super, super cool.
Yeah, it's really great kind of watching how technology over the past 15, 20 years, especially in terms of video games, has grown to more than just something you play as a child growing up. It's something that anyone of any age can play. And with that technology has come these advances to allow video games to be used for things like rehabilitation, or for working on fine motor skills. I know it's something Joey and I have talked about on some of our programs is Microsoft and Xbox coming out with the adaptive controller, a wonderful piece of technology that a lot of these organizations are using for people who may not be able to utilize a standard controller that comes with some of these consoles. So it really does kind of open that up to allow everyone, regardless of where they are in their life journey, to really enjoy video games and be a part of an amazing community.
Incredibly well said. I think that the work that people are doing to incorporate video games into really hard things in life, whether it's doing rehab or something more intense that might like have to do with a certain disability or illness or issue, I think is incredible. And games are meant to be a little bit more entertaining, make our life a little bit more fun. And if we could use games to help people going through a hard time and use our events to fund that research and some of that stuff, I mean, that's what makes the world go around.
Absolutely, and one of those games that gets a lot of people excited. It's a game that doesn't require knowledge of 800 different in-game items, doesn't require the knowledge of 160 in-game champions and a constant growing pool. Is one of those games is Rocket League. It's a game that anyone of any skill can really play. It's a growing esport title. It's a growing game in general. And it's even coming out with a mobile version coming up here soon that's going to allow even more people the opportunity to play Rocket League, which is going to be the star of today's cast here in week one for the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference here, week one of the Rocket League tournament. Tell us a little bit about Rocket League. What kind of game is it? What kind of style are we going to be able to see from this Rocket League game?
Um, before I get into that, really excited about Rocket League Mobile. That's going to be super cool. I hadn't heard that, so very excited to check that out with you guys, and maybe we can squad up soon. But the Rocket League regular season that we have is going to be really, I think, a very cool showcase of the schools and the talent that we have going on in this area. But first, let me back up. What is Rocket League? Mom, Dad, I know that you've probably watched League of Legends or Overwatch and you see a bunch of lights and other things going on the screen, and you're like, this is cool, but I don't really understand. Well, Rocket League is the game for you. It's essentially soccer with cars, put the ball in the goal, and I think that you'll see very soon exactly what we mean by that. So, what we're going to do over the course of the season is we have I'm going to pull it up right here. So we've got 6 weeks of regular season matches that we're going to be running. Week 7 is going to be our playoffs. Top 4 teams in each division. We have a red division and a blue division. We'll toss up that graphic and as we get into the broadcast a little bit more. But we'll have the top 4 teams in each division make it into round 1 of the playoffs. And then at the spring summit, we're going to have the championships. So we'll have, the top 2 teams in each division play, and then the top 2 teams from each division play for our MAEC championship, which is going to be amazing. We got $2,500 on the line and also bragging rights for this year. You get to be the first ever MAEC champion.
You can only be the first one time, so that's pretty awesome. So let's talk a little about what we can expect for today. What do we have in store for our viewers? If saying, hey, I want to get interested in esports. I want to get interested in this because, my friend, my best friend, my brother, my sister is interested in esports. I kind of want to get involved in this also. What are they going to be able to see today? What are they going to be able to experience?
Well, first off, you're going to experience the best casters in the DMV. Give you a wonderful experience as we go through these matches. So first off, we're going to have OTN casting, so that's always a highlight for me. Secondly, we're going to have our round 1 matches. So we're going to see best of 5 matches today. And every single school that's playing is going to be broadcast tonight. So unlike other conferences where they pick and choose, hey, we're going to put these guys on stream this week, and then next week maybe it's you, but most of the people don't get on stream. We're doing things a little bit differently. So we're going to actually air every single broadcast or every single match in week 1. So we're going to have 6 best of 5 matches tonight. Hopefully we get a bunch of really great intense competitions, but that's what it's going to look like. We're going to get 6 best of 5 Rocket League 3v3s.
Yeah, I think that really plays well into you talking about showcasing talent earlier too. When you have a lot of those conferences and they skip over matches, players might not get seen. In this particular format, every player is being seen. Every player can be shown improving as well week over week.
Yeah, I think that's the goal is it doesn't matter how good you do. If it's not broadcast, people can't see it. It's tough. Like you think about sports, I don't know what's going on West Coast teams. It's hard for me to know how good Gonzaga is in the NBA tournament in the NCAA tournament this year because they're a West Coast team, and like we just don't ever see those matches. And you could see how powerful that is as people, I think, consistently thought that Gonzaga wasn't as good as they were, and they've been incredibly good as they were this whole time in the NCAA tournament. So I think that viewership and giving people the platform is probably the most important thing that we can do here. And our job is to give them the platform and then make them look as good as possible, and then step back and let them do their thing, which is play great Rocket League.
Yeah, and obviously, Rocket League, it's like I said, it's not a League of Legends. It's not one of those major esports that are going to fill up a 70,000 seat arena like League of Legends Worlds Championship does. But Rocket League is still a very popular esport title. Here in the DC area, we had the opportunity to have the season 4 championship for the Rocket League Championship Series here. It was at National Harbor, at MGM National Harbor in their auditorium there. I mean, there was, I believe it was about 6,000 people who packed that auditorium to watch it. And watching esports, on a stream is exciting. Being there in an in live event is a completely different experience. But like you can still feel that energy. Rocket League has that fast pace action that people want to see when they tune into a stream. Like you said, League of Legends, it might be difficult for someone new getting into gaming or into esports to kind of understand what's going on. Rocket League really does break it down to a very cars that go fast, cars that can fly, and cars that can even blow each other up when you run into it going fast. Creative, not just in your plays, but in how your car looks. Your tires, your boost, the sounds that your engine makes. You can bring your own personality out in this game so much.
You're
It's really
100%
made
right. I mean,
for
to me,
everyone
it's
to
the
play
most
and everyone
accessible,
to enjoy.
most I would say competitive integrity intact esport out there. And I think it's only going to get bigger because as schools, as colleges, more of them bring on esports programs, which soon everyone will. Rocket League is going to be the one that everyone is going to have. It's going to be an absolute. I think that Rocket League is poised to be the biggest esport in the world when the bottom rungs to the ladder start developing esports and incorporating it into traditional sports. Because what we're already seeing is schools are shying away from shooting games, so no Fortnite. Other games are PC based, more intense. They need more. They need more. Like energy and internet requirements. They're the fact that Rocket League is cross-platform, that it's easy to understand. I see it being the biggest esport in the world in a couple years. So I know it's not necessarily on par with the League of Legends of the world yet, but I think the accessibility and the fact that America and the rest of the world is really still developing the kind of grassroots college, high school esports scene. I think the Rocket League is going to be the biggest esport in the world one day.
Yeah, it absolutely has potential, especially with that relatability. Now, Josh, as we wrap up before we head into all the games later tonight, what are some of the other events the MAC viewers, let's say, can take a look at? What other games? I know you've mentioned League of Legends. We have Rocket League. So a lot of people are tuning in for Rocket League tonight, but what other events could they possibly tune in for the MAEC conference?
Um, so we're running League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League this season. Head over to maec.gg and you can check out the schedule. We've got pop-up invitationals for League of Legends, one-day invitationals, and then we've got some pop-ups for Overwatch as well. So we're going to be running Overwatch at Game Mason, which is April 17th, which is our next Overwatch event. And then we're going to be running League of Legends for the next 2 weekends. You're going to take a break off for Overwatch on that April 17th weekend, and then have 3 more League of Legends pop ups that are going to lead to the Spring Summit, where we will have all three: Overwatch, League of Legends, and Rocket League. So it's going to be a blast, man. Like, this is week one, and we've got a whole lot of stuff coming. But make sure you stay up to it, and that's maec.gg will give you all that info.
Excellent. I know we could talk all night. John, do you have any other questions before we wrap this up and head into those competition games?
Awesome. Well,
No,
thank you
I
guys so
think
much
we
for
are
being
set.
here.
We're almost ready to go for the
As
first
I've said
match.
before, I'll say it again. OTN are the best in the biz. Give John and Joey a follow. Give them lots of love on social, and hope you'll stick around with us and enjoy the rest of the night. So we're going to start off with Nova versus Catholic after the break, our first match of the evening. You're going to be stuck with John and Joey all night. So I hope you guys have a great time. I will be out of here. So thank you guys so much for joining.